Next on the archetype analysis menu I thought about doing is the Jinzo archetype. You remember that? He's one of the prime boss monsters from the early game meta, and he was used in the original Duel Monsters anime by Janucci. Well, it was one of his cards. He wasn't using a fully fledged out archetype. But in the GX era, he was used by Makoto in the Season 4. Now, this is where Jinzo became a proper archetype. Well, not so proper since it doesn't have above 10 cards. But yeah, he became an archetype, so to speak. So yeah, let's started and start with the one that started it all, with the titular Jinzo. It's a level 6 with 2400 attack and 1500 defense, and trap cards and their effects on the field cannot be activated. Negate all trap effects on the field. And yes, this is what the entire archetype is going to be based around, negating and locking out the opponent from using trap cards. Now, this was a huge deal in the early meta because the game was heavily reliant on battle traps, and very rarely a certain very powerful back in the day floodgate, and Jinzo just destroyed it and negated it all. Well, in the anime version he even destroyed traps, but we'll get to a certain under monster that does that as well. Anyway, this guy also spent some time on the limited list because of this effect, and you definitely have to run 2 or 3 copies of this guy if you want a perfectly functional Jinzo deck. And alright, time for their next monster, their lowest level monster, that being Jinzo 7 for some reason. And this monster can attack your opponent's life points directly. Yeah, pack filler garbage at its finest, and now it's outclassed entirely by its retreat, that being the level 3 Jinzo Returner. It's a level 3 machine with a much higher defense and 100 more attack points, and this card can also attack your opponents directly, and when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Jinzo from your graveyard, destroy it during the end phase. Now, I would have loved this thing if it's summoned from the deck, hand, or graveyard, but as it is now, I mean, we're talking about a 2008 GX card. Well, I think it was a bit too much for that time to have such a huge summon pool. But still, it works very well in combo with cards such as Crush Card Virus, since you can Foolish Burial a Jinzo and then tribute this card to apply the Crush Cards effect, and then you get yourself a Jinzo out from the graveyard. Yeah, this thing is a definite 3-off staple, such as the next monster, that being Jinzo Jector. A level 4 with 800 attack and 2000 defense, and this card's name becomes Jinzo while it is on the field or in the graveyard. You can tribute this card, add one Jinzo monster from your deck to your hand except Jinzo Jector. Then reveal all set cards in your opponent's spell and trap zones. If there are any trap cards among them, you can special summon one Jinzo monsters from your hand up to the number of trap cards revealed. You can only use this effect of Jinzo Jector once per turn. Now, this is a very, very, very useful effect for 2 reasons. For one, he's treated as the original Jinzo on the field or in the graveyard. It's a very, very powerful 2k wall for your first turn. It's searchable by some other cards such as Mystic Tomato or, I don't know, Armageddon Knight can also dump him to the graveyard. And it's an Inferno Reckless summon target. And you can search other Jinzo monsters from your deck, and to top it all off, it has a special summon condition which only works from the hand. But unfortunately, with this much goodness from this card, it's perfectly fine. This is a definite 3-off staple. It's a rank 4 fodder as well, so yeah, it's a very, very good card. Also can be a target for Crush Card, just like Returner. But yeah, this is a very, very nice card, and it's always a 3-off staple in the archetype. Now, for their final monster, that being the level 8 Jinzo Lord, their current boss monster. It has 200 more attack points than the original Jinzo, and this card cannot be normal summoned or set, and this card cannot be special summoned except by sending one face-up Jinzo you control to the graveyard. Trap cards cannot be activated and the effects of all trap cards on the field are negated. Once per turn you can destroy all face-up trap cards, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. Now this is one of the very many reasons I should have said why Jinzo Jector is an insanely useful card, because you normal summon Jector and then you special summon this right off the bat. Basically, if you open up with Jector, it's basically an instant Jinzo Lord. And as for this effect, I mean, when battle traps were played massively, I mean, this does not work. Well, it does work with battle traps since it negates all trap card effects, but this can destroy every floodgate your opponent has on the field, well, except Vanity's Emptiness, because I mean that is banned, but it cannot destroy it since this thing needs to be special summoned. But yeah, this thing actually can get rid of every single floodgate on the field, and it's pretty badass for what it does. So yeah, Jinzo Lord is an absolute staple in every Jinzo decks and shouldn't be ran at any less than 2. So, and for their next card, that being their first and only spell card, is an Equip Spell Amplifier. You can equip it only to a Jinzo, and when this card is equipped, the equipped monster's effect does not negate the effects of its controller's trap cards. When this card is removed from the field, destroy the equipped monster. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated. I mean, it is a way to stop your Jinzo from negating your own trap effects, but why the hell does it need to be destroyed when this card hits the graveyard? It is so really not clear to me why the hell that is. I mean, that's the Dual Monsters Era card, if I remember correctly, and it did not. What would it hurt that much to keep that Jinzo on the field? Well, anyway, it's not important right now, but anyway, it's very worth running in Jinzo decks because it's even searchable by stuff like Hidden Armory or Power Tool Dragon if you're rebuilding a Synchro variant, which is very popular since Jinzo is a level 6 and you can plaster it with unknown Synchrons for an easy level 7. So yeah, good card. And for their final card, that being their first and only trap card, their normal trap, Psychic Shockwave. Activate only when their opponent activates a trap card. Discard one spell or trap to special summon one level 6 Dark Machine type monster from your deck. In other words, you summon Jinzo with this, but I am very surprised to see that you can special summon any level 6 Dark Machine type monster. I'm not even sure which monsters in the game actually qualify for that category except Jinzo. But anyway, this is actually a very useful swarming card that works in a pinch. However, not worth maxing out on because it could be a bit too specific to activate since people don't run many trap cards nowadays. So yeah, I guess you can activate it in response to Vanity's Emptiness maybe. Well, it doesn't matter, Vanity's Emptiness is banned, but I would actually like to check that because you can actually immediately negate the effect of Vanity's Emptiness by this thing, so yeah. And now for the grades. Consistency gets 2 out of 3 because of Jinzo Jector and Jinzo Returner's searchability from the graveyard. And Jinzo Jector has an immense amount of summoning condition effects, so yeah, it's a very good card. Power gets a 2 out of 3 because the only most powerful monster is Jinzo Lord, and yeah, he sure is to hit very hard, and he is usually not ran at 3. He's probably ran at 2 max in any Jinzo build. So yeah, now comeback ability is 1 out of 3 because it completely depends on non-archetypal support cards such as Soul Charge or any other revival card that is used to revive the machine type monsters or help them in that matter. And protection, it gets 1 out of 3 because the only thing they protect you from is trap effects, and I mean that is the gimmick of the archetype, but it's pretty damn limited because of it. And as for the versatility, it gets very generous 2 out of 3 because they have access to limiter removal since their machine types. Allure of Darkness helps as well with consistency a bit, yeah. And yeah, generally they have access to a lot of capable and competitive builds. Yeah, Jinzo is actually a very, very popular archetype, the Psycho style archetype, as Makoto stated in Season 4 in GX, so yeah, I enjoy. And Janucci didn't even get Jinzo until he entered Battle City. It wasn't even his card to begin with. He was awarded by it, and when he won a duel against some random dude with green hair, I don't know what his name is even. But anyway, that is it for this archetype analysis. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, so please and updates, comment, like, and subscribe. And as usual, I'll upload the next vid whenever I can. See you all, have a good day, and peace.